Hey everybody, Dr. David Wank here again, and in this video I want to go over our brand new ClickUp website development template. It's version 2, it doesn't say version 2, but this is version 2, and this is available for you to purchase it on our website. Now, what I want to go through here is just some of the to-dos, the structure, the phases, the statuses, and how you can customize this for your own use. We're not, at the time, which it's inexpensive for you to purchase, so I'm not providing, one-to-one support about how you can use ClickUp to, better your processes right now, just because we don't have the bandwidth for that in the company right now. At some point, we might do that. I'm also not going through all the SOPs. You can add your own SOPs. At some point, we might offer those as some kind of package if there's demand for that. But I want to kind of more give you the structure and the organization to add your own SOPs. I've built, my God, hundreds and hundreds of websites, and our SOPs have changed. Our tests have changed over the last, 14, 15 years. So obviously, I want you to use this as a scaffolding for what works for you. So let's go ahead and take a look now. So one of the major limitations we have in ClickUp is contacting clients, and I find that, and in our agency, we're back and forth about emails, and do we use email, do we use ClickUp, how do we make it all talk to each other? So what we kind of have here is a client contact task, and what we do is, this is the task we use for all communication with the client. So the team can always know where we are and what we're up to date with, and it stays in ClickUp. There are certain things that we do outside with regular email, but for now, for this is the client contact task. It's just easier because we have so many different tasks. If you send clients 20 emails on 20 different tasks, they're going to get lost. So I'd rather get as much information as I can. And, if moving forward, we've got 5, 6, 7 emails we have to send, or 3 or 4 about combining some tasks, then we will. But for the most part, I want to just keep it clean so there's one email thread so other people on the team can see it. Client approved mockup task. When we approve mockups, we like to build our mockups in order. We did not homepage for a year, but now, for years, now we just started doing homepage directly first and then going from there. I don't love that the clients get distracted with the filler text on the homepage, but it seems to be working. Just because there's so much back and forth about mockups, we have a separate task just for the mockups to discuss, because otherwise it gets so bloated and confused between these two threads that it just gets messy. So our discovery phase, we have 5 phases, and you can obviously edit as you wish. Discovery, design, development, launch, and post-launch. And so we have an assignee and a due date and the statuses. You can adjust your statuses. What I have found is, for our company, to do means that it's to do, it's not done. Client communication, we always put the client communication status here because it's easier to get those out of the way. Now, we have in progress, which means whoever on the team is working on it is in progress. So that means if I assign John a task, I might assign this to John. And if I assign it to John, then what's going to happen is that doesn't mean it's in progress. If I assign this to John, that just means I assigned it. And when John is doing it, John can put in progress. So you can do that however you like, but for us, we found that way works but you have to, with your company, with your team, you've got to explain to your team what your statuses mean. And so over here, in progress, waiting external means we're waiting for the client. Sometimes as we get close to launch, many of you will know we get to a point where, well, what are we waiting for the client? So waiting external, that way we could generate a list. You could sort, or you could just create a view for yourself that has what's waiting for the client. Waiting internal, usually that means we're wishy-washy on that. We're still figuring that out. But usually that means if there's something that I need to get, like an API key, that's what that means. And DAW review, I'm DAW. For you, you would change that if you're the principal at the company or whoever is your manager. Some things might need review. So you might have a development task here, like create the oxygen templates, and you might want someone to review it. Your whoever it is, add as much of those as you need, but some things don't have to get reviewed, like add stock images. That doesn't have to get reviewed. It's A, B, it's done. So that's our statuses, and certainly feel free to edit those. In terms of the phases, what I found, and here is this, if we group by, let's say, if we have no grouping, this becomes messy. And as you expand this, or as you move things around, this is going to get really messy. So what I decided to do is, at least under the phases, add, and you can do this if you want under the subtasks, but each primary milestone here is assigned to a phase. So that way, at least for this project, let's close this out, we can see, and these are milestones, you can see where everything lives in the phase. So if you just want to work in discovery, so let's just work in discovery, you can certainly just go to there and you can see you can add all these in here if you'd like. I don't necessarily need to do that, but I do like to be able to do it this way. So that way, when you group by the custom field, if you want to group by the phase, it's so much easier. You can see that. And now if you're working with multiple clients, you can see who's in what phase or where you are. So I like that as well. Let's clear that out. Now over here, I don't want to group. We certainly can group by status. Again, it's how you want to run, you know, what information you need on that day. Now, the phase and the step. So what I found here, let's take a look at discovery. So my problem was, I don't want to put a number 1, a number 2, a number 3, a number 4, because if we decide later on to add, you know, pre-meeting questionnaire or something, then we have to change all these numbers. So what I did is I created a phase step list here. So phase 1, 02, 03, 04, and so forth and so on. So, and you can look, and if you run out of them, you know, you can certainly add more. But this way, no matter what happens, is that if these get out of order or something happens, you can certainly always sort by this phase to keep your items back in order. Because if we're doing something and account setup winds up before internal kickoff, like, huh? So that way you can keep those in order. Same thing for subtasks. We've moved away really from subtasks as much as possible because it gets just so complicated. But again, same thing, subtasks, you might have multiple subtasks within a step, and you can use these to change the order of those subtasks. Subtasks has different statuses because I felt that, let's say this onboarding, the onboarding task might have a status of, see, I got to do that. Onboarding status, onboarding is in progress, which means that we have to follow up with the client. Where are we on this one? Is this under review? Is this done? Are we waiting for something? So I can look at this here and say, wait a minute, our onboarding process, we're in progress because we are waiting for the client, or this one is done and there might be another task. But this way, by having it set up this way, what can happen is, let's just make this a little wider. By doing it that way, your main tasks can actually represent the status of all the subtasks combined. Because if the onboarding is marked as waiting external, but this task here is actually in progress, well, this is waiting external, but what if you had, you're waiting internal for something else? Let's say you had the team needs to get a list of the stock images and compile that because we got it from the client already. They need to be downloaded. Well, that whole is not waiting internal. That's really in progress. We have one task that's in progress with the team, and then we have another task, let's say, that we're waiting for the client or whatever it happens to be. So that way we like to use these statuses, if you're going to use subtasks, to kind of represent once the status of the entire task. Same thing here with if you'd like to do it with your milestones. I want to note here that our discovery phase is in progress, and we're not up to design yet. You know, we're here in this project. We are just waiting for, you know, we're in progress with this, and this doesn't matter, so I don't have to open this because we're not ready there. Or when this is done, let's say that's you know, completed. Great, that's completed. We're gonna cancel that. Let's not do that. But this way you can see it helps us look at our statuses, our phases as well. Now, if we look here, so that's phase step, and you don't have to use that. Subtask status, subtask step, you might have multiple things. SOPs, if you want to add your SOPs, you can add a URL, a link to the SOP. We are currently using, let's get rid of this. We use Confluence, it's cheap, it's 10 bucks a month. I've been using it for years, so I think for up to like 9 or 10 users, and it's great for us for our company knowledge base. There's another column you should add called Client Web. Let's add that right now. I'll show you how. We're going to come here and let's go to, nope, we don't have it in this one. So let's go ahead and add a drop-down column, and we're going to call it Client Web or whatever you like. And then what I do here is you put whatever client it happens to be. So let's put you know, Acme widgets, and let's make them red. And then let's add a new one, new Acme salads. I'm hungry. Almost lunchtime. So okay, so there we go. And let's make this one here. Let's just, there we go. So now this is all part of the Acme Widgets project. So now this is great because it doesn't really matter for you for here, but if you're running 2 different websites or 3, so let's just say this happened to be a list of things that are assigned to you, for example. Oh, so now you can group by the website. So it looks like all of these are, you know, this is going to be open assigned to me for Acme widgets. Because sometimes if you are in, for example, internal project kickoff, and you find that you've got two, is this for Acme widgets or is this for new Acme salads? You can actually group by your clients, so you can actually see what's going on with which clients. You can clear those out. We don't really need those. But that's just something that you can do on your own. I think that is really helpful to have because, again, as you grow bigger, which I hope you do, that's going to help you out with organizing things where they are by, let's get rid of that, by project. So, and then just real quick to take a look at how we've done other things. Some of these items are with checklists because I found that over time in ClickUp, when you've got a checklist, it's a little easier than subtasks, especially if something is simple. So send cover letter and agreement. That does not need a subtask. That is either we did it or we didn't. Create and send an invoice. Either we did it or we didn't. Same thing here. HSS HubSpot, we're using HubSpot now, but we've used a million different things. So these are the kind of things that do not need their own dedicated subtask because subtasks have bulk. Now over here on our onboarding step, these are all things that are yes or no's that have to get done. But this is kind of something that might be more complicated because you'll follow with the client. Hey, client, you forgot to tell us your Facebook page URL, or you didn't give us this or that. And so you might have to go back and forth with that. So obviously those are things that you can do. So that's our discovery phase. And then at some point, I might do more extensive training on how we do these, but this is again for you to edit and customize as you see fit. We use Oxygen Builder for now. But that's just, but all of this again is going to be agnostic to your, whatever development platform you're using. It doesn't have to be WordPress. Initial live configuration. When we go live, what are we doing? Well, we're making sure their email. These are kind of little things that you might forget. So we certainly check those. And over here as well, this is designed for WordPress. So, we're talking about certain content and assets that we have that you will have all over. But the WordPress stuff is going to pick up a little bit more here when you've got the plugins. Yeah, configure plugins. So there we go. Where's my checklist here? Oh, you're going to add your own plugins. I didn't add plugins because everyone uses different plugins. If you want, I can write a blog post about what plugins that we use. Google and Bing, here's what we need. And obviously if something says add DAW or add short list marketing, that's us. You add your own. Don't add your clients to our agency, add them to your agency. So hopefully you find this valuable. I think this is a great template, not just because I built it, because it took a long time to figure it out with the help of a lot of people putting it all together. And there you go. So let me know if you have any questions about getting it copied over to your ClickUp. Certainly feel free to send us an email about that because you're paying for it. And I want to make sure that you're able to use it. Past that, for tech support stuff, I really haven't decided how we'll handle that yet. I might open up some kind of thread in Podia. We use Podia for our free SEO course and our free analytics course, which you guys can take if you'd like, hint, hint. So I'm not sure yet, but let's see how it goes. And there you go. Hopefully you find this helpful. And if you think I can make it better, I'm obviously open to ideas. So thank you again, and I appreciate your time, and good luck building your clients' website projects in ClickUp. And I hope this helps your company grow.